Yes, sir. Yo, good people. It's your homie, man. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie, man is on. And if you're new to the HerbMan show, welcome to the HerbMan Morning Show. To be exact, I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm your homie HerbMan. All right, how to heal themselves, and you cannot know thyself. All right, so we need to ask ourselves the question: why did the ancestors tell us to know thyself? Okay, all right, and so we teach human frame and human design so that you can be well way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. How many of us need all three of those? Okay, so that's what we are doing here on the HerbMan Morning Show, you guys. We're talking about a different topics to make sure that you understand that you are never out of that you think you are to can fix issues in your life. Nobody can confide. Look, nature got you all the way through. It has always catered and comforted you in your time of need. Okay? Always it's done that to mankind. And it's in this relationship, right? This symbiotic relationship between man and land that we must continue to delve into even in this modern age. We can't forget. We can't go cold turkey. We can't go oblivious. We can't go heartless with understanding earth and the two things that we need to do for earth, which is to conserve and preserve it, but then understanding that because of that symbiotic relationship between man and land, when we conserve and preserve earth, we will also be making a conscious effort in conserving and preserving our own lives. Okay, so that's what we do here, you guys. So this is free information station. All you got to do to pay for this information is pay attention. How you pay attention is simply by double tapping that screen wherever you are. We're live from South Africa. We're also live on TikTok and YouTube right now as we speak, you guys. So if you want to follow me anywhere, subscribe anywhere, you guys do what you need to be notified every time the HerbMan Morning Show comes on and every time the HerbMan Show comes twice a day at 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. And then the time we come is going to be between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So that's what we do, you guys. We just continue to keep busting you upside the head. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into that subject matter at hand. All right. Remember, the task is to get us to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. All right. Let me get my YouTubers down in perspective. You know what I mean? You know how we talk here now. Perspective. Now, old student, I do, because this diagram right here, right, is the most famous diagram on the planet, but y'all don't even know it. Okay, this diagram is a diagram that basically encompasses every single facet of your life path, meaning that a life track can track you. This is a GPS system that tracks you. How it tracks you is by an age-old language that can be spoken with nature called numbers. Okay. And you have a number that's attached to you that can be imputed into this old calculator and spit out different remedies and tendencies of that particular person that came out of that number that you got. And that number that you possess is your birthday. So for your little funky, measly $50, we take your birthday and spit out remedies for your life. This is not about a disease. But if you're dealing with cancer, if you're dealing with this and that and the third, this is going to give you the things you need to get back into balance. The reason why I said it is because today's show is about polarity. Okay. Now, before we talk about polarity, so my question again to you guys is, which way is home? So now this right here says north, south. This would be the east and the west, depending on what you're looking at and how you're looking at it. Okay. So north, south, east, or west, depending on how you're looking at it. Right. Which way is home? Anybody know which way is home? Out of those four coordinates, north, south, east, or west, which way is home? Anybody know? Does anybody know? Come on, YouTube. Get involved with it. Okay. We got somebody that said north. Oh, hey. Linus, that is correct. Okay. Linus, that is correct. All right. That is correct as far as this discussion is concerned. That is correct. Okay. Now, the other person who said east is correct too, because the place you're going is northeast. Okay. The direction you're going in is northeast. Okay. So where you at, you got to know that where you at, you got to get the northeast. That's where the promised land is at. Northeast is where the land of Canaan is at. And coincidentally, northeast is also where Israel is at. I'm just putting that out. Coincidentally, that's where Egypt is at. So the way home is northeast. So that's fine. I'll give you both of that because that's true, because we starting south. So you got to know you got to go northeast, right? But the bottom line is north has always been utilized as a navigation tool. So Polaris is a star that shines bright closest to the pole, which is going to be the North Pole. And it seems as though everything else is moving around while Polaris is standing still. Because Polaris gives us this kind of effect, like everything is moving around, but Polaris is standing still. And because Polaris gives us that effect, it becomes the navigation tool. Remember that. So now you got the pyramids in Egypt pointing toward the North Star. The North Star, the way home. So now these folk done left you a clue talking about know thyself. Because you don't know what you can do. Because y'all going to be asking for thousands of years continuously how we build a pyramid until you start to know thyself. See, because we built it when you know damn well it wasn't no crane. Because you invented it. See, but we know that too. We know we built it when there wasn't no goddamn trucks. You know that, but we know that too. So we knew that when we built it, y'all were gonna ask, how in the hell they built it? Hey, and it was a symbiotic relationship between earth and man and land that was able to create something out of earth that will be forever because it's out of earth. Okay, it's out of earth. It's on steady ground. You see, if I build it out of earth, then it's gonna stay there for forever. So everything carved in the mountains, things called the rocks, they were leaving behind messages about what? Abilities. But your abilities are only gonna be locked in the relationship between you and land. So we'll go out and build something out of sand. We'll go build something out of limestone. We'll go build something out of the rocks to show you how good we were with land. That's all we're trying to show you, that there was a relationship between man and land, that we can do some shit without lasers. You invented the laser. We didn't have that. But I bet you I still can't got them carve out their rock like how we did. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because we had a symbiotic relationship. These are artifacts. These are revenue. These are, a residue, residual of the things that we used to be able to do with the symbiotic understanding of earth and man and land. Or I'm gonna put this out here, understanding which way was home. Now watch this. Polaris is north. We know that we're getting to the higher self, our higher consciousness. That's why this is the oldest tool on the planet, our higher consciousness, right? And we know that getting to our higher consciousness got something to do with balancing ourselves in this particular medium. So you done got all consumptive and you done got all diseased infected. You done got too acidic, which means that you got imbalance in your pH. You done got too consumptive. That means that you got imbalance in your lifestyle. See? So you get imbalanced in this paradigm, and therefore that imbalance lets us know it is a signature of a lost person. That's why I'm trying to tell you, if you sick, you lost. And it don't matter if you're going to church, it don't matter if you got GPS on your phone or your car or nothing, you still lost. This ain't got nothing to do with that. See, because ain't nowhere in the hell you should be sick. Because if you understand the symbiotic relationship between you and land, then you know that there is no way that you could be sick and know that land got everything you need. But you don't ask land, you ask man. See, that's what stage we're in. So guess what? Here's the thing. So when you ask man, you're asking the same motherfucker as you, because you don't know the recipe to healing, or you don't know the recipe to being able to be in this paradigm. So Polaris is giving you the navigation. Go north. When you go north, true north. So if you ever understood the pyramids are facing true north, okay? Also, astrology is based on true north, okay? When you're facing true north, the east is on the right side. See, this is the importance of the east information. When you're facing true north, then the east is on the right side, okay? When you are facing true north, the east is going to be on your right side, y'all. Okay, follow me here. I'm taking you somewhere. The right side is your high tide, your feminine side, right? The right side, that's going to be everything. When you're looking at the right brain, right? All of these analogies to that right side. Throw your fish over onto the right. Throw your cares and worries over to the right. You know, the righteousness of God, the trees of righteousness, everything on the right. You know that then the east, Eden, all this stuff over here is over here. But I got to be knowing that I got to be going home to know what east is. And some of you guys are going west thinking you're going east. Some of y'all are going south thinking you're going east. Some of y'all are going north, all the way up to north, and you're supposed to be going northeast. Remember, you go northeast. So the point of the matter is we're trying to get over into a particular paradigm that is a recipe for something that's deeper than what you understand. You're supposed to live here in this paradigm, in this life path, 120 years. Let's just go. Let's just go. Go. You're supposed to be in this paradigm for 120 years, okay? Now, being in this paradigm for 120 years, if you understand that, that's what sentence you got when you came from the Garden of Eden, right? If you read that again, that gave you 120 years. But you don't even know how to get to that. So we got 10 years per lesson. We got 12 lessons per lifetime. With your birthday, we get your coordinates and track you in your life path. Just with your birthday. We don't need no hair sample, no blood type, no blood sample, no urine sample, no stool sample. We don't need no none of that. We don't need no live culture from your little bump down now. We don't need none of that. We don't need your credit card number, your driver license number, your social security number ain't got nothing for it. It's your birthday because it's a tag on you coming into the matrix. And that got something to do with you and Mama Nature, that birthday. Nothing else ain't got nothing to do with you, Mama Nature. Man gave you all of that. But it's when you got clocked in to life. When your ass clocked in to life, you've been on the clock. And there's somebody that's tracking your time. I don't know if I can keep on telling y'all this. There's something tracking your time. This is how your life get written in the book. This is how you get accounted for. This is how they knew about the Messiah, and this is how they knew where to find them, because they already knew how to account. It's numbers. Numbers give you language, so they was already prepared for the opportunity. Preparation meets opportunity. Ain't that correct? So you can't be prepared for the opportunity if you ain't prepared. So you keep missing opportunity to heal your finances. You walked by somebody yesterday that could have helped you, but you don't know because your ass don't know nothing about intuition. Yeah, you walked past somebody yesterday that could have helped you. You don't know though. So you ain't saying nothing. You just taking your little cute self in and out the store, around here, around there, studying mad and screaming about your opportunities in life. And folk, you walking past folk because you shut down, you closed down, you closed up. You see? And so therefore you disconnected from those powers, and that's a shame. So again, if you broke out here, you lost. So I said sick, now that's broke. If you broke out here, you lost. That is an indicator that you are still lost from understanding your purpose. Okay? If you broke out here, you lost. I ain't saying lost is bad. I'm saying that don't be acting like nothing else now. Okay? That means that you need to understand your powers. So sick, you lost, and that's okay. Because with your owner's manual for that little funky measly $50, we're going to find you. Okay? It's okay. If you are broke financially and you just cannot find the break, you lost because you don't know your powers. You don't know your purpose. You need your owner's manual. For that little funky measly $50, you need an owner's manual. And it's okay because we're going to find you. Now, this is the third one. You got to understand this, but this one is broken. Okay? If you are broken, fragmented, in despair, delicate as a flower, broken in your emotional, spiritual understanding about your purpose in life, broken from traumatic events, big component of post-traumatic stress disorder, broken. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You need your owner's manual. That little funky, measly $50 will find you, and we'll find all the missing pieces. Because some of us are lost on this yellow brick road. Because then nobody tell us that it was even possible to know. But now we know 2025, this is the biggest year on the planet for this information right here. Not the biggest information for that hoopla, because guess what? We're using this information to heal ourselves and heal our land and heal our spirituality with nature and heal this abundance and get back into this utopia of being here in this life. This is the shift of the Aquarian age. It ain't about, oh, this war or that war. It's about when we get together. You see, a lot of people overlook the little part in the Revelation where it said that the bridegroom, that the bride had made herself ready. See, that's a scripture. Right there, I just said it. It said that the bride had made herself ready. You can go Google that. Okay, for you Googlers. Okay. That scripture by itself, let it be known that at some point, y'all, we gonna get it. At some point, the veil will be removed. Okay. At some point, you will reach the promised land. At some point, there will be a elevation on a cohesive and a cooperative level for each and every human species on the planet. Some folk gonna die before it get there, but they'll always keep telling you about that day. And I may be one of them, but I'm just in the middle and in the midst of the rest of them to let you know that I'm a part of you understanding that scripture. So don't always think of doom in your situation. People that nature will continue to create and make a message in your airway to let you know Don't ever give up. Understand the powers that you possess. Out of your ignorance, you have created industry. So you can't put too much trust in industry in your most vulnerable times. Look at what I just said. Out of your ignorance, you created industry. So the industry is going to be connected to ignorance. Out of your ignorance, you have created industry. And when you are walking blind, when you are walking eyes wide shut, when you are separated from the mind and the body, you're a very easy target for marketing. You're lost. See, when you sick, you're buying the thing. When you broken, you're trying the drug, you're trying the goddamn thing. When you broke, even though you broke, you'll do anything. You'll do anything. That's why the jails are full. So we'll see that these moments of despair, you are separated from the mind and the body to cope with those issues, which means that when you're like this, you are broken connective wise. Connective, there's an electricity inside of you. There's a wire inside of you from your brain to your thing. That's going to be a connection. Whew. There is there is a wire that needs to be hooked up. There's a battery that runs off polarity. That's the recipe. And what we're offering you in the owner's manual is that recipe. So we understand that the ancient history of medicine, it was hot and dry, the cold and wet, the hot and dry, hot and wet to cold and all of these different things, right? So we understand that they played in polarity. The Polaris, they followed the North Star, they followed navigation, led them to learn how to not only navigate somewhere, but also understand where they at to be able to navigate their ass back home, but also be able to navigate these environmental stimuli like sickness, like being impoverished, and like being broken from all of this trauma. You got to be able to navigate. So your owner's manual is not only going to be able to locate you, but it's also going to show you where to go home. And you get all that for that funky, measly $50. Polarity is the recipe. Somebody please put that in the chat. Thank you guys, YouTube. Thank you, all of you guys. Man, I love you. Keep tapping out, keep talking. You guys keep tapping. I will keep talking. All right, let's get this thing up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. All right, polarity is the recipe. Somebody please put that in the chat for me on YouTube and on TikTok. Polarity is the recipe. Okay, and when you understand that, you have a system. You have a system. And not only is polarity the recipe, we're looking at these two positives and negatives. These are not good and bads, y'all. These are not rights and wrongs. Stop looking at your lower self like it's bad. And stop looking at your high self like it's good. Stop looking at your lower self like it's negative. And stop looking at your high self like it's positive in the aspect of good and bad, right or wrong. It's not that. These are just energies that have value in what they do to get you through this 120-year cycle. And if you look at this, this is a wave, right? But this is also electromagnetic wave, all right? This is also what they call the sine wave, all right? This is also what you get out of sound, all right? And this is also a tidal wave, okay? And this is also a references to color, because color is about what? The light spectrum. The light spectrum is measured in wavelengths. So what you're seeing here is language. It's what's in between the numbers. From 0 to 9. 0 to 9, that's 10 digits. 1 plus 0 equals 1. That means that 0 to 9 is still equaling a oneness because it's showing you how to go from 0 to something, nothing to something, from 0 to 9. From 0 to 9. 9 is the actual crown chakra. It's 7 chakras, but the actual number to the crown chakra is the number 9. From 0 to 9 is a system of oneness. So it's showing you about this thing. But here it is. I'm going to go a little deeper on my morning show. Okay. Y'all might miss things this evening. So again, now look at this. What measures continuity in a wire or in a battery is a thing called an ohm meter. AOHM. Okay. Let me write it down for you. It's called an ohm meter. Okay. This is what measures continuity. Okay. Continuity. Continuity, to let me see, is there any breakage in the connection from the north or the south pole? Is there any breakage or connection between the feminine and the masculine energy? Is there any breakage in between the mind and the body? And the reason why you guys ain't never been able to heal or be able to live everlasting is because this is the information that we're supposed to be continue to keep learning, is body preservation through this paradigm. How is it that we can live for forever in earth? That's what supposed to always been your agenda, motherfucker, is to live forever in this bitch. And anybody on this motherfucker is giving up on life and doing this, that's because you're lost on the purpose of you being here is to stay here. You ain't know. Keep tapping the screen, you guys. I'll keep talking. These are examples that we're given by nature. These are examples that we're being given by nature. That if we can embrace change, if we can embrace a permanent state of changing events, spring will always come, but it won't always stay. But it'll always come. Summer won't always stay, but it'll always come. So understanding that, then if I just understand how to change, see, because we embrace it and have been attached to too many stuff in a changing environment. You're too attached to that fucking hot wing, bro. Not in the sense of worrying about your high blood pressure, but just in the sense in general, like, how the fuck is you too attached to chicken like that? Like, how the fuck you get too attached to pussy like that? How the hell you get too attached to a drug? Like, why trying shit is okay, but continue like you need it? That's crazy. That's crazy work, because that is, these habits create this disconnect. Yeah, you wake up in the mall, you might want to try a whole lot of shit. The heaven is got everything you want, but the battle is to not be consumptive over one thing. You got to show balance to get through all of this. I got to be up here everlasting. That means I got that pace. Eating up all that food, because then it means that you've lost this to physical body. And it's because your mind, the only stop sign you got in you is your mind. That's why I say you lost, because that lets me see that you're disconnected. The meditation on your ass. See, the ohm meter in what nature talking about is that meditation, that vibration, to see if we can connect this back together. But what is required to all of my morning show people this morning, what is required is focus and concentration. That means that even if your grandmama's sick, your granddaddy, they still got to be able to do one thing for me, to make this happen. The doctor done gave up on them, whatever it is they're going to do. When you get your owner's manual, you get your herbs, you get your foods, you get your activities in life that you're supposed to be involved in. You get your spiritual tendencies, your physical tendencies. You get the element that you need to be involved in because that's what's good for you. You get your 2 sun signs, you get your model number, you get your manufacturing date, you get this design right here, so you get your map so you can keep tracking yourself. All of this you get for that little funky measly $50, but in essence you get the recipe. It's an owner's manual on you, so that you don't have to keep going back and forth with what's going on. You oversee man's intellect when you go back to nature. Your birthday is the only thing on the planet that you can go back to nature to talk and record and come up with what you were designed. Your mama and them don't know that about themselves. How in the hell they gonna tell you about it? Your doctor them don't know that about themselves. Then how they gonna tell you about it? Your pastor them don't know that about themselves. How are we recorded in the book of life? Your birthday. But in essence of being a book of life is coming into nature. Nature records you by the birthday, because on your birthday you got tagged with a time, or you got tagged with a day, which is a time, and that time is going to stop everything in a moment to take a snapshot of the celestial clouds around your birthday. Again, how did they know about Jesus? They knew about him, and then they followed that snapshot of that day. And then from there on, you've been snapshotting that day every goddamn day since that damn story for Christmas. So we know that birthdays and understanding when you came into the paradigm is important, you guys. And Jesus ain't the only Messiah. Jesus ain't the only one that has superpowers. That's what his message is to y'all. If you want to follow something, you got to follow the man's message. He's trying to tell you, you just like me. And the disconnect is you can't seem to gather that. So the question is, why are we dying? If this man said we got these special gifts, why are we dying if he went down to hell and defeated death and said, "Oh, death, where's thy sting? Oh, grave, where's thy victory?" and took the keys from death? If he resurrected and rose, what is that in my paradigm? How am I everlasting? So you got 2 choices. You either learn how to body preserve in the paradigm and live forever in your skin, in your mind, in this sun, in this good air, in this great environment of good temperature, good food coming up out of the ground. And this thing can take care of you if you take care of it. That's the key. But now you see that, okay, now so what he's saying is that I got to share time with something else in me in this paradigm in order for me not to run down my body. Pace, yes. You come with a mind. But the things that are happening in you are running down your mind and your body. You run out of time. Your body can't make it to 120 under the stress. It must share. Intellect can't make it all the way. It must share with intuition. Body can't make it all the way. It must share with mind. Mind can't make it all the way. It must share with body. You will exhaust one or the other without the understanding the recipe of the polarity. You must have the opposite working, just like that shit worked to crank up your car. But this just not only with the battery in your car, this is also down to the understanding of electrons and neutrons and protons and atoms, and the understanding of the sharing of molecules, polarity, understanding the differences in negativity, polarity. Oh, this happening all the way down into the atoms. Yes, the recipe of opposition. That friction creates the spark. That friction creates the baby. That friction creates the desire. So now what I'm saying to you is when your body is depleted, then we can't call on it. But you a good mind, and you can just allow yourself to focus and concentrate just for a minute on sending electromagnetic signals from your mind. All right, it's sending electromagnetic signals from your mind. That means we're using your brain to concentrate, to act like you feel a sensation in these organs that you can't feel no more. You're going to act like it at first. Until you start seeing that it ain't an act, that you're actually feeling something there. Because you're sending your focus and your concentration to an area in the body that needs more mind and spirit energy than what the body can give. Along with that type of focus and concentration and the right herbs and the right foods, and for you to understand and trust in the right system, that whole rest and manifest, you'll start seeing a quicker change. Getting involved with the simplest of life, going back to the simplest of life. Good sunlight, good natural spring water or well water. We ain't even gonna guess. We ain't guessing with alkaline. We're not guessing with this water, that water. Don't be asking me about no water on here. Natural spring water and well water, it got to come from the motherfucking ground, and you got it, or somebody went and got it for you. So we ain't gonna play, but we're just going simple. Good sunlight. Make sure your ass get out in the sun, cold or hot. Direct sunlight. I want you to sit out there for 2 hours, white or black. And the 2 hours that you need to sit out there, and you're going to do it twice a day, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the safest time to sit out in a 2-hour time frame in the sun. Sun gaze, sun bathe, I don't give a damn what you're doing, sun. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., natural sunlight. Wheel them out, walk them out, roll them out, take the bed out. They got to get outside, sunlight. Wheel them out, roll them out. I don't give a damn what you do to get cart them out. The simplest of life. Okay? And the next time you're going to do that is you got to understand the seasons. I don't know where y'all at on the planet. The next time you're going to do this same sunlight for 2 hours is going to be either from 4 to 6 p.m. if it's winter where you at, or it's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. if it's summer where you at. Put it like that. Okay? From 6 to 8 p.m. is right when that sun starts to go down. That 6 to 8 p.m., you get that sunlight. Do that twice a day too. So, do that once. So you got from 8 to 10 a.m. and then from 4 to 6 or from 6 to 8, depending on if it's winter or spring. If it's winter or summer based on wherever you at. Okay? We don't do direct sunlight. Natural spring water, well water. Okay? The foods that you eat gotta be garden grown, not farm raised. Not farm raised. If somebody raised them in a garden, meaning if you know folks that got little pots of rosemary and goddamn herbs and got little pots of tomatoes, you got to eat like that. Not farm raised, motherfucker. They tricking you because mass produced is mass induced. In the hell, can't nobody look after all them goddamn tomatoes out there. Bugs will eat your shit up. don't spray these goddamn thing. Think what I'm doing stuff. Look, bugs would tear your shit up if you don't spray it. So you gotta have. So that's why I ain't no need in trying to grow so much stuff. I don't want nothing sprayed. So go to garden grown fruits and vegetables. Garden grown. Or you can grow your own. You can do microgreens. You go that way, go sprouts, go that way, right? The sprouts of the plants, the microgreens, the garden grown herbs and spices and vegetables, garden grown cucumbers and tomatoes. Just have it, but it's garden grown. I'm the first person probably ever said that. Garden grown, not farm raised. Then next, okay, so that's it, right? And then the next one you get when you go outside to get that sun, and that's why it's mandatory to get out there, because the next one would have been fresh air, not your air conditioning all day. That's what making some of y'all cold inside. You're working inside of buildings, you're up under those goddamn louvers, and that air just hitting you upside your head, getting all in your neck. You can't stop high blood pressure like that. It'll disconnect the blood flow. Coldness will constrict you, will constrict your vessels, which then will constrict the blood flow. You ladies having cut off shirts, a lot of that cold getting into your gut, fibroids. How you know? When grandmama used to touch your forehead, if your forehead was hot, then that means that you had a cold. Now, how was that? Polarity. That was polarity. If you hot to touch, you cold on the inside. If you cold to touch, you warm on the inside, right? And that's what that means. Yeah, that's what that means. So you'll see that when women have fibroids, if you touch down here in your lower abdomen, it be hot as I don't know where. It be feeling like it's on fire down there, right? Because it's cold, because your uterus got a cold, aka mucus, aka polyps, with a whole bunch of mucus, toxic mucus trapped inside of it along the lining of the uterus. It ain't nothing but snot. It ain't nothing but everybody can get a cold, cataracts and dementia. It ain't nothing but mucus in the eye. Okay? Your eye got a cold. So cold done set over the lens of the eye. Lymphatic fluid, mucus, whatever you want to call it, right? So these are just different things that you can understand. So now my point to you is that when your body get ran down or debilitated to where you can't get the energy from there, you need a proper diet with the proper herbs that are also calculated in this thing too now. So your herbs ain't just herbs thrown out there. Okay, when we track you here, these 12 zodiac signs are also attached to 12 minerals. Okay, 12 minerals. Now, they used to call it back in history the 12 cell salts. Okay, those 12 cell salts were invented by a brother who basically came up with one of the better, I would say, inventions as far as or medical understandings back then, right? And so he came up with the fact that they had 12 major body minerals that the body needs. 12 major ones that we need to be, heal ourselves, get on a rebuild, break down things in the body, all these things that we need to keep a cohesiveness. And so it was one of the greater findings, right? But here's the thing. In my understanding of it, it was good information, but wrong application, because the cell salts cannot necessarily be broken down to this finite with your kidneys. Now, people gonna say they done took cell salts and cell salt work, this, that, and the third. Hey, it could be just a placebo effect, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm just talking about the actual cell salt itself is inorganic, right? And so what we did was understand, okay, great understanding, great invention. We can apply that information. but you got to be able to get the right herbs. So therefore, when we give you this, there's also a remedy of herbs that get spit out of this calculation, specifically for the piece of equipment that was born on that manufacturing day that you call your birthday. That was you. So you can't get that to your kid. You see, and then understanding that there's about 12 to 13 different models of a human being. So just because you're a white woman don't mean you just like every other white woman. And just because you're a woman don't mean you like every other woman. And just because you're a black man don't mean you like every other black man. And just because you're a man don't mean you like every other man. There are specific models coming out from those birthdays, which is going to dictate differences in the herbs and differences in where you are and differences in the tides and differences in the fluctuation of this wave-like motion that is happening in your life. And what's happening is when you start to get turbulence outside of life, you start to get an understanding of the turbulence that's happening inside. Your biggest purpose is to keep your mind with your body at all times through this experience. The more you divide the masculine and the feminine, the more you leave your wife inside of you. The more you don't understand the balancing act, you lose power in small things like healing a body, being broken. These are all things that you can mend easily. Understanding your nature. So for your funky easily $50, we're giving you something that allows you to understand your nature first, and then nature, and then you exemplify the patterns of nature. And what is the patterns of nature? Y'all need to embrace change. The reason why you can't heal yourself because you can't see it. You can't feel it. You can't get it. The doctor can't do it if you don't know how to get it done. The reason why you broken, you can't see rich because you're not doing nothing to get rich. Everything you doing is to stay broke. Getting rich ain't the money. Getting rich is the mentality. Every person that's got rich is a mentality. They'll tell you that. Getting rich is not the money. Getting rich is a mentality. That means that you will work all goddamn day. That means that you'll study all motherfucking day. That means that you'll motherfucking do whatever it take. That's what rich means. Anytime you see a rich motherfucker, this nigga will sacrifice arm and limb. He one of them people that'll never go home. He one of them people that'll work all day. He one of them people that'll study all goddamn day. He's the most disciplined son of a bitch. That's what rich people are. You're more disciplined people. It's a mentality. It's not a pocket full of money. If you knew that Glorilla can't sleep at night because she got to be in the studio all night long, you'd be mad. And then got to get right back up to be on V103 at 6 in the morning. You wouldn't want to be no Glorilla if you really knew the schedule of being rich. It's a mentality. Okay? So understanding that, where your mind at? When we can uplift the mind and the spirit and put it back into position with the body and embrace the current moment of the cancer, current moment of the tumor, current moment of the autoimmune disease, current moment of the lupus, current moment of the rheumatoid arthritis, current moment of anything that we're dealing with, the divorce, current moment of the brokenness, current moment of the financial issues, current moment of the social anxiety. When we can put the mind back in the right position with the body, we just reconnect this and get this back into alignment to where we have polarity, to where I have you not over here, but over here back into position. Not over here, but then over here back into position. I don't need you over here. I need you back here into position. And then we reconnect this through meditation with the bones. And with that meditation, there's going to also be produced a thing called melatonin. That melatonin is the most antioxidant and one of the biggest dogs you got as an immunosupport in your body. So when I produce a melatonin through meditation, sleep, rest, manifest, chill, the right side of me, the feminine energy, when I do this connectivity and I begin to be able to reconnect, now I can easily go to my bag of tricks and self-heal. When I reconnect, I can easily now start to manifest and start to draw toward me because now you have the charge. You are charged. When you're over here, you're not charged up. So your phone dying, your energy dying, your battery dying in your body, your battery dying in your mind is being you dying because you're not charging yourself. You have no charge. So you got to come back to this point, back at navigation, Polaris, come back to north, facing north. The owner's manual is going to get you back in. Y'all don't understand what I'm trying to teach you, but I hope y'all get this morning, okay? I hope y'all get this morning, man. Okay? What we're trying to do is get you back into position, back into the current compass that you need. We understand that you're over here. So because you over here, what you need over here, you too far away from because you over here. Yeah, you over here. But what you need is over here. You're too far away from it. But when you get back into position, now that idea will get you out of poverty because you're connected. And when you focus and concentrate in your connection, you make shit happen. You always have, and that ain't no secret about it. So who the hell is we tricking? You can heal your, you done been scratched up so many times, you ain't put out hydrogen peroxide, no nothing, and the scar still a heal. Okay? You're a self-healer. It's automatic in you. But you know when your battery get low, you lose some of them applications. And one of them, when you're not charged up, is you lose your ability to open up your self-healing app. Okay? So what we're doing is reconnecting you, bringing that continuity back. We know that water acts as a conductor to, or as a ionic bond to a metal and a non-metal. Understanding the periodic table, the further these things are from one another is what you would call electronegativity. Okay? So if you go to the periodic table, those got numbers on them. You know, every element got numbers. The further they are away from each other in the numbers, right, is what you call the differences of electronegativity, or what you would call the electronegativity. Okay? Right? So you see, electronegativity is a word. Okay? So you got Polaris navigating you to polarity. Polaris is navigating you to your higher self. Your higher consciousness is trying to get you to understand how to work polarity. The reason why you putting and spewing out little energy here and there is because you still got a little battery. But when your battery get low, you get lost. And you can't find your way back to the charger. So the owner's manual is saying if people want to know how to heal themselves, you must know how to work the spacesuit. And the spacesuit comes with a compass on it. And all of us get lost. We get too far away from home. We get into the 40 years of wilderness. And we can't find our way back. And in that darkness, there's an ignorance that's associated with darkness. There's ignorance that's associated with clouded perspective. And out of that ignorance, we've created industries like the funeral home. You shouldn't even have a funeral home. Out of your ignorance, you got funeral homes. Funeral homes shouldn't even be an occupation. Oh, death, where's thy sting? Oh, grave, where's thy victory? Who would want to be in the funeral business after hearing that scripture? See? It's because you really don't believe. I'm talking to you. I get a lot of people want to be Christians come jump on here, but I'm attacking you at the very core of you understanding that I'm talking about the same thing. Wait, your pastor can do it. You want to go deeper? You look at your relationship with nature, it'll tell you about your relationship with God. For no man has seen God at any time. So it is what you do to thy neighbor going to be an indicator of how well you love God. And your neighbor is also the land. Okay? Your neighbor is also the land. Right? So what we're trying to get you guys to understand is that nature is at the very core. This relationship between you and nature is at the very core of the fundamental relationship that needs to be restored in order for you to be able to restore your charge in you. You got to be able to get your mind back into that present alignment, which is just an agreement that for one more time, we're going to stand in this motherfucker and work together. I ain't going to leave you vulnerable. I'm not going to, anytime your mind leave your body the way that depression and anxiety and worrying got us doing nowadays, your mind leaves your body as a victim. It victimizes the body. Anytime you're depressive and worried and your mind ain't never in the present moment, you leaving your body vulnerable. That's why a lot of y'all are having car accidents, because your mind ain't in the driver's seat, but your body there. You done drove home plenty of times, don't even goddamn remember how you got there. Because you rolling on muscle memory for most of us, and we're robotic in that. That's muscle memory. When you can't remember your way home, it's because your mind wasn't in your body. You were literally muscle memory. I'm trying to tell you, this shit is happening all the time. When I'm describing to you ain't spookism. It's what we're going through every day. Your mind ain't in your body. What happens is it leaves you vulnerable. You'll eat up all the food if your mind ain't there to stop you from doing it. You'll drink up all the drink. You'll drew up all the drugs. You'll watch up all the porn. You'll do all of this stuff you're doing. You'll kill up everybody if your mind don't stop you. And it's that mind, that very power, when it's not present in the body, it leaves the body vulnerable to its own urges and desires. How do you defeat the carnal mind? How do you defeat the flesh? How do you kill flesh? Well, it ain't to die. Literally, is to learn how to drive the body. Literally, it's to learn how to use your spacesuit. Killing the flesh is to learn how to use it instead of allowing it to abuse itself within the paradigm. People before us tried to understand this body preservation, so they starved themselves to death. They got to a spiritual level, but they deprived the body so that they didn't have a vessel to come back to. But if you understand ancient Egyptian understanding of mummification, the body always was symbolic of the afterlife journey, which means it had its role. What was the body's role in the afterlife journey in order for these motherfuckers to mummify anything? Ask yourself that. Why y'all mummify? Why are we keeping it back? We keeping it for what? Oh, he supposed to come back in it. Oh, I ain't know you supposed to come back in your body. Yeah, you supposed to come back in it. It's a part of the afterlife journey that you go through the afterlife, and then you supposed to come back in it to tell us about. I lost my train of thought. So you got two ways to have everlasting life. Either you can figure this out, figure out how to stay young, antioxidant, melatonin. That means I need to learn how to rest in the bosom of nature. You too stressed out because you too impatient. You can't wait on nature because nature don't work on your clock. See, nature got its own clock and you're running faster than it or slower than it, which means that you're always out of sync. And with your owner's manual, we put your ass back in the rotation because all of that is come with knowledge. To see this in your owner's manual, to see where you at, it comes with knowledge to understand, okay, what's next? Preparation. We're going to prepare you with this knowledge, and that's going to allow you to meet opportunity head on. And we ain't working by luck no more. Now it's by intent. I intentionally did this, did that, when I intentionally did this, and these things are now because I'm now locked into my actual supernatural. I'm locked into my dialed in, into my actual, I'm pointing, I'm headed, I'm going the right way, I'm navigating. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm using this motherfucking tool that HerbMan showing for. And it ain't just about me being healed, but now I done got this. Boy, what you talking about? Changing lives one day at a time. Where are you? Polarity. The opposites, the recipe of the opposition. That's what we provide to you. We provide for you. I've been on this shit here for real, since 2018. I created a business off of the opposition theory. Okay? Off of that opposition theory. Everybody know that come into my shop, they'll tell you he always had that hot and wet, cold and dry, because those were the four humors, and they believed in polarity. And I always received that because that's the way that nature presented itself. Okay? So the North Star is called Polaris. Polaris is closest to the pole, so they call that the North Star. Okay? North Polaris also came from the word polarity, which means opposite poles, right? Negatives and positives. This ain't about a good or a bad, okay? And how these two oppositions must work in tandem. So the opposition, the friction between the two, creates the charge. So therefore, your car crank up because of the negative and positive charge of the battery. So the positive don't make it better than the negative. The negative ain't lesser or wrong than the positive. They both create the charge. They both create the necessary value that it takes to create the spark. So from your mind here to your creator here, I don't mean to be vulgar, okay? Watch and learn. From the creator here to the creator here, this line must get back into tune. We can do that for you. We will show you retreats about how this go. This ain't about your chakras. It ain't about no Reiki healing. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Okay? Because you can do this for yourself. We don't make this too difficult. So with simple stuff, plus with your focus and concentration, creating the continuity, creating the conductivity, we know that water is an ionic bond between opposites, a metal and non-metal. So we are creating this ionic bond in the chemical waters of your body. We get your sodium and all your minerals back in shape because we got you the right foods and herbs with your owner's manual. So now we getting all this turbulence inside, all this waters, the blood and the fluids and all your minerals. See, we got to get these waters in balance. Listen to what I'm saying. That's what we're doing when we're healing you on the inside of you. But we got to do this emotionally for your emotions because your emotions stir the water, but we're going to calm. Because we got you focusing and concentrating now. So that cancer diagnosis don't have you anxiety or depressed because we got you connected. So we're balancing back the waters of there's no more rage inside. There's no more turbulence inside. We have been able to now create this homeostatic balance back in the waters, the acidity to the alkalinity, the blood, the plasma has been now back balanced. Okay. the waters, the minerals, intracellularly and extracellularly, have been back in balance. Now you ain't got too much more sodium in the cell than potassium, and too much more potassium outside the cell than sodium. Listen to what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. This is how you heal yourself, but I'm just giving you a pictorial of how it looks. And when we're calming the waters on the inside of the body, we're also calming the waters on the outside of the body. Because with this focus and with this arm and with this sensation, finally, that everything is okay. Formulating this sense of peace and contentment within you. This sense of assurance that mama got you. Big mama, nature. Want to come back and rekindle the relationship that started it all. And we're understanding that you get into this situation, now we are in a space where intellect can't help us, only intuition. Now we're in a space where facts can't help us, only faith. Because when your body gets that depleted and you're trying to hang on to life, you must understand that in order for you to not have a transition, you must force one. And how you force one is you go back in and grab your spirit and your mind and bring it back into. I might have said too much, y'all. I might have said too much. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Okay. I just want you guys to be in the right mind this morning, be in the right perspective this morning. Understand that there is a ram in the bush. Yes, I was a minister a long time ago, so I understand the understanding of religion and how people feel. But again, nobody uses the doctor's office as a place to talk about religion, right? And we know that a lot of doctors we go to don't believe in the same. You know, ain't nowhere in the hell all these Indians and Africans that's doctors nowadays that are all Christians. Okay. So, but we don't go in there talking religion. We just need help from one another. And so therefore, I'm just employing all of my people with all kind of religious backgrounds to view this the same way. This ain't something to be discussed over because it doesn't require your belief. Okay. This does not require you to believe in it for it to be effective. I want to put that out there on YouTube, social media, everywhere that we're live at, okay? This does not require your belief for it to work for you. You don't have to be rich for it to work for you. You don't have to be poor for it to work for you. You don't have to be black for it to work for you. You don't have to be white for it to work for you. You don't have to speak English for this to work for you. You don't have to be in America or from America for this to work for you. This is humanity's tool. We ain't discussing man-made stuff when we go and talk to mama. We hand mama your birthday, and she goes back into her file and chart out you and your tendencies. And if you follow it, you're following the path of the sun. If you don't, it is what it is. Believe it to be the best system ever created on the planet. We believe it to be way better, more in depth than modern medicine. I'm telling you not to go there. If you want to, you can. I'm just telling you that there's an alternative system. We know it to work. I had or was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is supposed to be for life. Anybody that know me know I ain't never took no medication. And I have not had any symptoms of ulcerative colitis or anything like. Have I taken care of myself? Yes. But I bet you and guarantee you that I'm 100% cured. And there's no cure for ulcerative colitis. So you can't tell me shit about what I do and what I know, y'all. I saw the stupid for I know what I went through. I did like a female when I went to the bathroom. I know what happened to me. And I also know I ain't taking out now medication. I learned herbs. I took herbs for 2 months, and I ain't seen nothing since. And that was in 2013. And it's 2026. We're going now. We're 2025, right? So that was 12 years ago. I dabbed in this for myself. I know it to work. So then I started going through essential oils. That's what I went through first, essential oils. Essential oils got me just on to learning herbs. From essential oils, then I got into really actually learning herbs. Ran into Dr. Sabi, all that information. I already had done a lot of the research while I was into essential oils about, history, medicine. I was already starting that journey. Found out about Sabi. I went crazy. Tried to really actually copy and mimic him. Then I said, well, you know what? Fuck that. If he couldn't, it was a thing about him. He said he couldn't learn. He was dyslexic. I was like, brother, know how to read and did all this shit, man. Let me do this shit. So I just started to just do it. I wanted to know it. So then I ran into another guy. He was the founder of one of the, I ain't gonna say the founder, but I say one of the big wigs of Southern herbalism. Okay, Southern herbalism. He was a white guy. He got tutored by a nanny, and he became one of the biggest names in I want to say Alabama, in the Chattahoochee down in Alabama, or the Appalachian Mountains. I forget his name. And he said the herbalist that knows 100 herbs like the back of his hand, the pillar of his community. While all the other herbalists are coming in for industry, they'll come and go. And I said, damn, they were going through that shit way back then. Goddamn herbalists they're coming and going, trying to just get to that bread. But the ones who really know herbs, you could be a pillar of your community. So guess what? I fucked around and bought 100 goddamn herbs. Deal with them and studied them in my basement for years. And in 2018, ate them right, boy. I like, goddamn, ball them in two. The hell, I put in the work, the effort. I was working other jobs. I was doing other shit. But I knew I was going to be an herbalist. I knew I was going to be that pillar of my community. I had attempted to do it through the church. It wasn't my time. But I saw the quality in those times as well. Oh boy, you're gonna be this and you're gonna be that, and you could be this and you could be that. So I got it, but this just ain't my space. It ain't. I wasn't in my element. Okay, but when I got a line, everything started happening. Now you might not like some of the shit that happened when you get a line. When I got a line, I lost my wife, my ex-wife. Damn. Hell no. Yeah, some shit that happened. When I got a line, I left corporate America. I was making 100-some K doing garage doors. Everybody know if you ever done garage doors, you can make some money. I was doing garage door pimp. I was making 100 up to a quarter doing garage door. Fuck that shit. So I understand why she left me. This nigga done gone plumb crazy. I'm getting aligned though, with my nature. And I tell people today that I shouldn't have got married before I got aligned. Otherwise, I wouldn't been on my third marriage. I shouldn't have had kids before I got aligned. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had scrolled out there like that. I should have got all of the stuff, or I kind of waited until I got aligned, but I didn't know the point. of reference. I didn't know that this was a point you get to. I didn't know you really actually can live and be who you really was designed to fucking be out this motherfucker, man. I was all that time I was fighting against it because I felt it, but I was like, damn, I know I'm supposed to just be in the all my life. I got the hell on up out of there. I don't want to be in front of no computer programmer all my life, so I got up out of computer programming school. I don't got nothing up. I want to work on no network systems and shit, so I got up out of network systems. I don't really know if I want to be no electronic technician all my life, so I got up out that mother. I don't really know if I want to drive these goddamn forklift all my life, so I got up out that mother. See, you understand what I'm trying to say? So I didn't even know that you get to alignment. Why you thinking I'm on this social media for teaching? Being the prime example of transformation, transition from a destructor in your community to a constructor, from the HerbMan that you didn't in your community to the HerbMan that you desire and it's a must need in your community. The epitome of this transition that we're talking about and living in that connectivity. Now you shift into a gear to where I'm over here in South Africa talking to y'all, pimp. I was just in the basement at my house a couple months ago. And not only am I over here, I've been over here down there 3 months. You see what I'm saying? I ain't on no vacation. I don't clock in. Ain't nobody looking for me. I'm not going to lose no motherfucking job, nigga. I'm over here living off of alignment. Not nothing else, y'all. I'm healed off of alignment, not nothing else. All nature did was gave me an illustration of how to preach and teach a message that can't be permeated in your mind if your mind ain't with your body. So that's why we can't get Jesus the way we should, because I can't, it won't stick in me. But if we show you another way, you'll still be following the Son of God. For this is the ecliptic of the sun, literally. This is called the ecliptic of the sun. So you'll be following the Son of God. All we're trying to do is get your light upon your feet. Huh? Is that man be light upon your feet and a lamp on your path or something like that, right? Yes, sir. I might even have it in here. Hold on 1 second. I might even have that receipt in here. I might even have that receipt in here. You keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. You keep tapping. I'll keep talking. I'm finna answer all your questions in 1 second. You guys, let me see this receipt. But I'm finna answer your question. I know folks got questions. I ain't mad at your form. All right, YouTube, I'm just showing them a picture of Psalms 119, verse 105. Okay, YouTube, showing them a picture of Psalms 119, verse 105. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. In a nutshell, the owner's manual is a word. And it said that the word was God and the word was with God. And we understand the word to be a frequency. We understand that from that word, that frequency was like a wave. And life came out of the living waters of that word. Uh-oh, somebody. Let me stop, man. Y'all don't understand. I'm a natural at this thing. I don't have to go to seminary school and I don't have to do all of that because it's folk that was chosen to do this and it's some folk that's choosing it. Two different people on the planet, y'all. Okay? Those are two different people on their planet, man. Let me get this off my screen. Okay? All right. YouTube was the only one that got the gist of that right then. But understand something, man. There are people who choose to do this, but then there are folk that's chosen. I know it. Y'all know who I am. But I'm not coming to you in the same way because that way ain't the ways. Okay? It ain't the ways. And these waves are the waves. So you're going in there and you're getting a frequency that's keeping you from focusing and concentrating. And so church shouldn't be that rambunctious. It actually should be more of a quiet space for this connection. But you don't understand that. So you go in thinking, but praise got to be afterwards or either before, but not during. And when you're coming into such a sanctuary, all you need to understand is that you just need to shut the fuck up. There's nothing else you need to do in here. So that's the real way we mess up in church, is too much noise. And noise is too sympathetic when God is, if you understand the waves, and if you understand connectivity and conductivity and continuity happens in the waters. And that's going to happen in rest and in quietness, in parasympathetic. So in essence, if the church did an art of quieting you instead of amping you, they would be doing better work. Just in that simple change. Just in that simple change, that if church did more of a artistry of bringing you down instead of amping you up, they'll do a better job at reaching you. That's why you'll see a lot of churches that praise and worship folks who just won't put a rhythm on that thing and say they like them. Got folks shouting all across the room. It's because of that subtlety, that quietness, that allows me to focus and concentrate on how bad my week really was and how good God has been to me. See, if you focus and concentrate and think on it, it brings a connection. And we can work off that connection, because now you got that connection. When herbs come in, they're going to do what they got to do because they connect with that. Now, when you got the foods coming in, they're going to do what they got to do because they can connect with the energy. Now, when you got your cells within you, they now have the polarity, the electric and negative charge they need to crank your ass up and do the job that you need to do. So if you need to break down, now we get into energy. Polarity is the recipe. Any questions before I leave? Any questions before I leave, you guys? All right. Questions before I leave. Keep tapping out. Keep talking. I should have had way more likes than this, you guys, but I do thank all 140, all 150 of you for staying. Should have stayed in the military. They got church on Sunday. You get a day off from training. Okay. Okay. Evan Moore. What's the name of the wave pattern on the board? It is called the sine wave. It's called the sine wave, S-I-N-E, wave. Or you can say the electromagnetic wave, or you can say tidal wave. You can type in all kind of stuff. You're going to get this same thing. Or you can put in the ecliptic of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Everything I ever said was spiritual. I ain't said nothing physical since I've been on here, Mr. T. Yep, I ain't said nothing physical since I've been on here. The biggest thing that we're trying to teach you guys is everlasting life. This is a cycle of everlasting life. This is also the infinity sign, if y'all can't see that. Okay? We believe that if we start to track you, get you back in tune with nature, get you prepared for these lessons, that you can go better into these things, preserving your body by means preserving your stressors, preserving, when you go into it, understanding the test, hopefully the goddamn boogeyman don't scare you that much if you know there's a boogeyman on the board. Okay? So we're trying to get rid of the element of surprise, but we can't get rid of the actual thing that was going to happen. I can't stop the storm, but if we can tell you that it's coming, you can at least wear a raincoat. Yeah, you can at least try to run away a little bit. We might give you a little heads up for you to get away from the tornado or the earthquake. I don't know. But just a little preparation, we believe, is enough to be able to help you buffer the storm a little bit. So that's what this is really all about. And we believe that if we can get you to 120 years walking upright into 120, mankind overall, and extending our life to 120 years, being healthy and learning the art of body preservation through learning the balancing act of intuition and intellect, and learning how life's going to give us these changes. And it ain't always one thing, and it ain't always about consumption. And to be balanced and to be content with nature, be patient with nature, wait on when the fruits grow, wait on when the plants grow, wait on when the animals grow, wait on things. Be patient when nature tell you to do it, and you can get a roadmap to that patience, so it'll allow you to at least wait in peace. So at least you know it's gonna come and you know when. You still gotta wait on it. So this is gonna teach you patience, because it's getting you back into balance with nature, not with the man's time clock. You say that even though my punishment is not expedient, it is still for sure. That's a Bible verse. So just because you ain't getting your ass whooped right after the French fries and the hot wing, you still gonna keep on eating it. But when we get your mind back there, that's gonna be your stop sign, and that'll be able to monitor, buffer, moderate, balance the consumptive behavior, the habits of the flesh. That's how you make it through this paradigm. If you can get to 120, we can do 240, we can do 360, and really this is gonna be the recipe for everlasting life. You're not supposed to die in this paradigm. Next. Yes, even after Adam and Eve bit the apple and they got banished from the garden, they got sentenced to 120 years. Even though Adam lived to be 900 and some years old. Is time speeding? Yes and no. You're not on the right time, right? So there's a subtle change with the calendar. So today is going to be the 6th month of the year, but you would consider it to be whatever month you call it, right? But it's actually 6/1/2025. Okay, it is 6/1/2025. Okay, and some of us are about to go into 2026. Some of us are already into 2026. Some of us are not. So this will dictate that as well. I can do one of y'all birthday to show you, but we can show you what time you actually is in. You can be behind time, you can be before time. It really don't matter. The bottom line is that you're not synchronized with time. Okay. A lot of people like to say, well, what is the big thing if I'm ahead of time? I mean, you know what the ahead of time characteristics are, but it's still, you out of sync is still the point. Okay. Out of sync is still the point, right? So yeah, so time is so today's date is actually 6/1/2025, if that's what we want to call the year. But everybody on the planet woke up this morning and called it 8/1/2025. Okay. Now the fallibility of this is on the northern hemisphere, you called it this, which means that you're 2 months ahead of time. So the northern hemisphere put itself 2 months ahead of time. The northern hemisphere as a whole, the patriarchal side, the masculine energy put itself 2 months ahead of real time. Okay? That's how masculine energy do. That's how patriarchal is. Okay? That's how that energy is, not men. I'm not talking about species. I'm talking about energy when this is unbalanced. Now, the thing about it is the southern hemisphere is just as off as the northern hemisphere, because the southern hemisphere is following, which means it's imbalance. So the southern hemisphere is following masculine energy instead of creating the opposition. It's creating the congruency, the teammate aspect, following suit. And so now down here, you don't know where the hell you at. You actually in the 11th month or the 12th month of the year. Okay. This is actually in the southern hemisphere. You supposed to woke up and put 12, 20, 2025. You about to go in 2026 in the southern hemisphere under the equator. So in the southern hemisphere, it is 12/1/2025. Now, guess what? If you putting this down on paper, you setting your own self back in time. See how engineering it is? Now, who on the northern hemisphere? Y'all just go Google those countries, okay? You see how engineering is? Who on the northern hemisphere? Go Google those countries. So we're gonna ride the wave before time and be industrial, be modern, inventive leaders, and then look at all the countries that up under the equator: Congo, Mozambique. These are a lot of impoverished countries. Because they're in the wrong time. They don't know the time. That little shift in consciousness was created at the Renaissance. That little shift in consciousness was created during the Renaissance. A lot of stuff happened during the Renaissance. For over 1,000 years, you was going by the Ptolemaic understanding of the universe. In the Ptolemaic understanding of the universe, the Earth is the center of the universe. That's what Ptolemy taught. For thousands of years, 1,400 years to be exact, was the whatever the goddamn nigga name is, Ptolemaic reference to astronomy. The Earth was the center of the universe. Then, in the Renaissance, you had Copernicus. Copernicus came in and said, no, it's the sun that's the center. And that changed time. That changed seasons. That changed festivals and sacred, because the Ptolemaic, obviously, we know that he was over there in Egypt. So he went and tried to pattern his shit from where he came from. You see what I'm saying? Well, you know, I've been over here in goddamn Egypt so long because Ptolemy was one of them bad boys that went to Egypt. So he learned that. But again, my thing is information. It's just as you grow, you get more information. So I ain't mad at Ptolemy and I ain't mad at Copernicus, because all of that allows me to be better at being able to put it all together. And so not only is what they saying is the Earth is the center, but what I'm saying to you is that the Earth is on the life path. The Mercury is on the life path. Venus is walking the life path. Pluto is on this life path. Neptune is on this life path. Mars is on this life path. Jupiter and Saturn are walking this life path. The moon is on this life path. And guess who else? You, my brothers and sisters, are walking this life path. And we all are sojourning together. And every now and then, very periodically, we get some alignment with one another. And if only you knew when those alignments happen, you can either circumvent or you can take hold to an opportunity that comes your way. So it's all about learning the frequency of nature, which is this frequency, which is 7.8 hertz. And the theta in your brain, your alpha and theta, but your theta brain waves, your theta brain waves, THETA, is the level at which you can dial in to 7.8 hertz. So you actually got a station that you can dial into. So the next time you go start listening for folk talking about nature, they need to know the channel that nature's dialed in on. And I'm pretty sure y'all gonna spread the word now, because y'all always like to bite and copy. It's all good. But nature's channel is 7.8 hertz. And to dial in, you dial in through the theta brainwaves. What do the theta brainwaves control in your mind? Meditation. Meditation. When you meditate, you get in tune with nature. You make this happen for you. You get this connection. Now we can bring that other energy over to heal thyself. I love you guys, man. It's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody to go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. And until next time, love HerbMan. If you guys are interested in your owner's manual, please DM me and we'll get you the information that you need. Until next time, love you, man. Peace, peace, peace. Enjoy your day. Peace, YouTube.